Hi everyone. So I recently posted a video with RFG and we were talking about our bodies and the chemicals in our food and our water and the connections between our physiology, chemistry, and how to awaken the body and go through forms of alchemy within the body. It was a very physical video. So it triggered a lot of people. And what's very interesting is when I speak about water, it's multidimensional. And there's a process that I want to share with you guys that I had to go through to wake up to where I am now. And I feel it's very important to share this because sometimes we can get so caught up in what we have to eat and the physical aspects of everything that we forget about the spiritual connection. But what I find is that sometimes people will bypass the physical and just go to the spiritual, and they'll want to channel and meditate and time travel and astral project, and they oftentimes bypass the experience of life itself. So my intention is to share with you my journey and how I got to where I am and why I want to experience life, why I want to feel sensual and joyful in my physical body while being a multidimensional being, while experiencing all these states of consciousness, because I'm a bridge. And I'm here to be that bridge. I'm here to live life and to influence others around me while they influence in me and while we create the magic together. That is what this wake movement is about, to wake us up to our waters, to wake us up to our emotions, to wake us up to our multidimensional selves, because water is everything. And that's how it is for me. So it's not this or that. So let me explain. Where I was in my journey, I was very disassociated. I was numb. Before I fully woke up to my spiritual self, I was fully numb. I went through so much trauma in my life that I learned to disassociate really well. I was living my life so numb that I would drink, I would do things that just made me disconnect. And the more I stimulated myself, the more I could disconnect, and I was just living that numb life. But when I started waking up to my spirituality, I had to learn to get back into my body. And that was really scary for me because my body, I didn't feel safe in it because of the trauma. I didn't feel safe enough to feel the emotions because I was programmed to suppress emotions. I didn't feel safe to express myself. I didn't feel safe to speak. I didn't feel safe to be intimate with people. I didn't even really feel safe to be intimate with myself. I had no idea that I was living outside of my body. And so my path, I had to go through sexual trauma. So I had to do sexual healing and really learn that my vessel is a gift and that this vessel speaks to me. This vessel is my subconscious mind, and it gives me clues. And because I was so disconnected, I actually started developing ovarian cysts, really ailments, disease that really took me from the present moment because I wasn't willing to be present within my body, which was really hard for me. I didn't know I was so disassociated. So for me, I had to get back into my body. When I did that, I started feeling again. My waters woke up. I started feeling other people, and I went through the chaos of, oh my gosh, I feel other people. Like, is this empathy? Like, this is a real thing. I'm an emotional being, and emotions are water. So once I started doing that, I had to learn how to feel and how to notice when things are mine and when things aren't mine and when I'm feeling myself. So I started empowering myself to hold my inner peace, to meditate, to really find the foundation within myself so that I could walk through this life, through this physical world, and still feel grounded in myself and safe in myself. So I like to call it building my backbone. And then once I started doing that, I felt safe enough to explore. Then that's where the true embodiment started happening, because I noticed that I started channeling, I started getting messages, I started tapping in, I started to experiencing astral projection. And if you've done that, it can be very like, in the beginning, it's like, oh my gosh, I'm out of my body, but I'm in control. So what I like to call it, and what psychology calls it, is developing a secure attachment with yourself. What that means is that early on, the secure attachment theory is basically when you create a secure attachment with your child, that means that you're there for them. You create a secure foundation for them to feel safe. And if they feel safe, they'll go off into the world with confidence, with passion, they're willing to take a risk in the world because you made them feel safe at home. So that's why it's so important to create a foundation for ourselves, within ourselves, and really build that foundation so that we have, don't mind my language, but the balls to go out there, to really take on the world. Because if we don't have a secure foundation, we often feel insecure, and that's when attachments start happening. That's when codependency starts happening. So I started that with myself. I said, okay, I wasn't somebody that learned that. I didn't know how to feel secure within myself. I wasn't gifted with being in a spiritual family already. So my awakening was like, boom. I went through a Kundalini awakening and I kind of went crazy. And I know that's not like that for everyone. I hear ya. It's not like that for everyone. But this is my journey. And I know that there are others that are also on this journey. And this is why I share so much, is because I relate with you guys. I'm an emotional, spiritual being, and I don't want to just blast off and ascend away. I want to experience life, and I want to be able to embody it in the whole aspect of who I am. So as I started getting in my body, I started craving different foods. That's why I went vegan. My soul was getting fed, and I stopped feeding my ego with these foods and realizing that the chemicals in these foods were affecting my ovaries, my reproductive system. And then when I honestly had a really inconsistent period before. I was very disconnected from my feminine body. I didn't understand that the food I ate affected my microbiome in my vagina. So this aspect of myself wanted to be healed. So I started changing my food, and I started really changing what I drank, my water, the fluoride. I wanted to understand how all these chemicals in our societies were hurting us. And that's the value I really got in myself. And I was like, oh my gosh, like I empowered myself. I was willing to educate myself on what to put into my body, because this is my temple. This is a sacred space for me. And as I'm empowering myself, I'm finding my secure attachment, I'm finding my foundation, and I'm like, wow. That's when I really felt proud of myself. And I was like, I did it. I learned how to take care of myself. I did it. I went against the grain. I didn't take medication anymore, because I used to be on ADHD medication for a long time, which was also numbing me. So if you look at my path, I've had to get back into my body. And once I did that, you guys, my DNA started awakening. The more I tuned into water, the more I tuned into my past lives, the memories, the impact, the magical places. Like, you get all of a sudden like connections with source, and you're like, where did that come from? Like, where did that connection come from? So within this path, then I started getting out of my body, and I started experiencing my dreams, because the rainbow body is our aura. It's basically layers of us that when we awaken out of our root chakra, we awaken to the higher states. And when we do so, we get in tune with our emotions again, our hearts, our heart chakra. We're the bridge, right? And we have a layer of, that's our astral body, that is related to our emotions. Energy in motion. So really, our emotions can kind of lead us to the spirit realm, the astral realm, the dream world. Because if you notice, the body is the subconscious mind, and oftentimes when we dream, we're dreaming in the subconscious world. And when we heal ourselves, or at least take off the layers, I don't like to say heal because we're not broken, but when we get to this place of feeling again, all of a sudden it's literally like tapping into emotions and feelings. It's like, whoa, did I just become telepathic because I can feel people? It's not what they say, it's how they say it. It's the tone that they're using. That tone has a frequency. So that frequency, that vibration hits our waters in our body, and all of a sudden we can feel it. We're like, whoa, what are we feeling right now, right? So feeling, what's important for me, and if you're somebody who went through your own trauma, dreams. When you wake up in the morning, tune into your emotions, tune into your feelings, because those will speak to you. It's not the dream dynamic so much as the feelings that you had during the dream. And then from there, you start really exploring the spiritual world, the astral projection, the out-of-body experiences. And then, like, I like to call it living multidimensionally. And then all of a sudden in your waking life, you're working, but you're flowing. And then all of a sudden, like, they tap into you, and like, it's almost like I'll stop and be like, what? And then I'll listen and I'll receive. So it's the ability to receive that information, to receive the codes. So do you see how it's kind of a paradox? Where I was so out of my body, I had to learn to get back into my body. And then from there, I had to detach again. I had to learn how to know that I am not my body. And then from there, I floated, I guess you could say. So when we share these concepts, I really want people to know that within embodying and getting back into our bodies, a lot of people will bypass it. And instead of getting into their bodies, they just go straight to the spirit realm. And that's fine, it happens. Some people are gifted with that, and some people want to go straight to time traveling and all these beautiful aspects of being a multidimensional being. But for me, in my journey, I was so disassociated that I didn't know how to get there. And for me, in my journey, my body is my temple, and I'm here to experience bliss. And within that bliss creates this alchemical change in my cells, in my body, in my physiology. And within that, I joke because, like, eating fruit, drinking my living water is so intimate. Like, it just gets me going. It turns me on with the passion of life, because eating these foods, and you feel the codes, and it feels so good. So within this, I want everybody to remember that there is levels here. There are transitions here, and it's okay. And for me, when I woke up to my blood type, when I woke up to my ancestry, because I didn't know my dad, I was curious. I was a child. I am a child. And that curiosity transfers over to other people. And it's okay that I have O negative blood. It's okay that you have A blood, whatever your blood type is. What I really want you guys to know is I want to inspire you to see yourself as a game, as a riddle. Your name, your birthday, your body, your bloodline, you mean something. And within that curiosity, there's another level to seeking. Sometimes we'll get so excited to learn about ourselves that we start seeking. And that's when I learned, oh, okay, so I can be curious, I can be passionate and inspiring, but then I want to be careful not to invite people to start seeking, because what happens is that it's all within you. It's all within you. And when you start to tap into your bloodline and who you are, you start to tap into your inner gnosis, your inner DNA, your genes within you. The codes within you start to unlock and awaken. And then we become multidimensional. We become higher frequency because we're getting the knowledge within ourselves. And even right now, I'm like, wow. Everyone is different, and it's okay. But this journey that I've been on is so fun and so mysterious that I don't want to contain it. I want to inspire those around me to explore your inner world, to explore your body and your sensuality and your bloodline and who you are. And then once you get to those places, the inner gnosis starts happening. And when that starts happening, you get the downloads, you get connections, you get the connection to source and all the other beautiful things that come with it. We are so beautiful and flowy and watery that we feel a connection to origins on this planet, on this linear path. And sometimes when I talk, depending on where you are in your frequency, you're going to absorb that specific frequency. But those of you who can hold the multidimensional view can see that we speak with many different intentions. And those who receive it are meant to receive it where they're at on their path. So sharing this with you guys, I want to thank you. It's so magical, and I hope to inspire that in you. I hope to inspire the creative flow, and to remember that it's different. I know it is, and it triggers people. It triggers a lot of people because they're like, look at her just seeking. Look at her being an ego. But I know myself and I know my waters. And from the magical experience of my life, I have been able to tap in. And that's what I really, it's fun. And I give you all permission to do what you do. Be what you be. Be curious. Make mistakes. Break through blockages. Eat bad and then feel it. You feel everything that this life has to offer you, because that's what we're here for. We're moving out of I believe to I know. The Aquarian age. This is bringing us back to water, bringing us back to our connection with source, and being able to be time travelers and multidimensional. What if that the secret is in the water to doing that? Water speaks in many different ways, and there's many different ways to view water. And that's what we're doing, is we're bridging all of them. I love you.